Hi there, I'm Stacy, the Encaustic mixed media artist behind Studio Stacy. Encaustic literally means to burn in. So I paint with beeswax and a torch, and because it's mixed media, pretty much anything else I can get my hands on. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Consider subscribing and joining this artsy community. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, which helps me get introduced to more like-minded artsy folks like yourself. Hi there. It is a winter wonderland outside. So I thought it would be a good day to actually stay warm. Don't mind the rosy cheeks and the red hands. I just walked over from the pole barn to the studio. And it's a little chilly. It's really pretty out, but a little bit chilly. So I thought it'd be a good day to be in the studio since I've got heat back there. And I'm actually going to be sorting through some acrylic paint. So what I have here is boxes of acrylic medium, golden acrylic paint, fluid stuff, heavy body stuff, more fluid paint, and some more acrylic medium in that box. And a family member recently got into painting, and she's doing some lovely, beautiful paintings. So I told her if she was interested in any acrylic paint, I would give them to her. She asked what I wanted in return, and I said, how about a painting? So we're exchanging paint for a painting. As you guys might know, I really love collecting other artists' paintings, and figured this is a great way to do it. You also might be wondering why I have all of this acrylic paint, and I used to be a mixed media acrylic artist before I switched over to Encaustic. And I know there are some artists that use some acrylic paint with Encaustic. I was taught not to use acrylic paint with Encaustic because it's a non-porous material, acrylic paint is, and Encaustic needs a porous material to absorb into. So I no longer use most of these acrylic paints. I'm gonna keep, I think, a couple of my favorites. I'm gonna really try hard to narrow it down and then probably just stick it up there in the loft storage area, just in case I ever decide to get back into it. But in the meantime, somebody should be using these paints. They're nice, artist quality, expensive paints, and I loved them when I painted with them. So yeah, let's get to starting sorting here. I also wanted to mention these fluid paints. I took and painted on the caps of these all the colors so that I could tell really easily what color was in each bottle without lifting the bottle out and looking at the colors. So it's nice, you know, when you're just going through the bin or you have several bins of these to have the tops painted. Just a little hint if you happen to be an acrylic artist. All right, I think I have them sorted. I'm probably gonna do like one more sort through, but let me flip the camera around and show you what I am getting rid of and the few things that I'm keeping. And this is kind of fun to go back through these paints, and there's definitely, I still have some favorite paint colors, and I'll show you those in case you're interested. And yeah, it's kind of a fun, and also, I don't know if difficult's the right word, but it's like, it's hard to get rid of some of this stuff, which is why I didn't initially when we moved, but now I just feel like ready to for some reason. So I guess that's another good point. If you're like sorting through things and in the process of getting rid of things and downsizing, don't feel pressure, or don't do it when you feel pressure if you can avoid it. I got rid of a lot of acrylic paint before we moved, donated it to a local artist group that taught classes and stuff like that, so they were using it to teach with their classes. And then I kept a lot of this higher end golden stuff, and now I just feel like I'm ready to get rid of more of it. So it feels good, and not like I'm not pressured to do it. So just a little side tangent there. If you're feeling pressured to get rid of something and are not really sure, if you can, hang on to it just for a little bit, and you know, maybe a couple months down the road you'll be like, nope, now I'm ready to get rid of it. Or you'll be like, no, I'm glad I kept that. So, you know, no regrets there. Anyways, let me flip the camera around and show you what I've got here. All right, so this huge pile of paint. I'm also throwing in a golden little color chart. I always found them helpful. And yeah, but this huge pile of paint is going. And I just wanted to show you these. This, the camera would focus. This is Blick acrylic matte, and it's made by Blick. And this was some of my favorite paint to use. It's still artist grade, but not as expensive as golden. It's not going to perform the same way, and it's a matte versus when golden dries, it's shinier. But these were great, like especially when you're starting out. They're like pre-mixed colors, so you don't have to worry about having a lot of knowledge on color mixing, because they're already kind of pre-mixed. Not that goldens aren't, but you can mix a lot of different golden colors together to create some of these colors, if that makes sense. At any rate, that was a bit of a tangent, but this pile right here, so from here to here is what I'm keeping. So a much smaller pile, and I may still go through this again depending on what fits in the bins. All right, 2 big boxes full of paint coming your way. And I'm keeping 1 little bin just in case. I also thought I'd show you some of my favorite colors, and golden was definitely my favorite paint brand. But yeah, some of my favorite colors here. All right, I think that is it for me for today. I will be picking you guys back up probably shortly here, and I'm going to get back to encaustic painting. So stay tuned for that. See you in a few. Also, for those of you wondering, this Christmas cactus is doing quite well. It looks really nice here in the studio. Nice pop of green and red, and just put you in the holiday spirit. Good morning. Bit of a frosty start to the day. And I'm in the studio, and I thought I would answer a few questions that I got in a couple of videos back. One of those questions was about this journal and what type of journal it is. And I think the question was really more about what type of journal you can use with Encaustic. So this particular journal is a journal by Ranger, and it's Dilutions journal. I've had it for eons, for years and years and years and years. In fact, I don't even know if they make this anymore. But in theory, you could use any sketchbook, any journal you wanted for Encaustic. The key with Encaustic is it has to be an absorbent material, and almost all paper is absorbent. The only thing you do want to make sure is that it hasn't been treated with some sort of acrylic gesso or acrylic ground. That's really the only thing that you need to worry about. Some watercolor paper has sizing in it that I've heard other people have been affected by that. I have never had an issue with watercolor paper, mixed media paper, any sketchbook that I've ever used with Encaustic, I've never had any issues with. So to answer your question specifically about Encaustic sketchbooks, you can really use any sketchbook that you want. This one just happens to be one that I have, and it's a Dilutions one. The other question I got specifically regarding this sketchbook, which is my collage sketchbook, is if I could do a slower flip through of it. So I'm going to set the camera up, hopefully overhead, and do a slower flip through of this journal. And you'll see some back in the day kind of art journal spreads here before we get into more current day spreads. So now flipping this open, this I just have stuck in here, but it opens up, and there you have that. As you can see, I was much more kind of cartoony-ish with this particular piece, but kind of a fun little piece. Not Encaustic, it's acrylic mixed media. And as a matter of fact, most of these pages in this book are acrylic mixed media. I don't know if I said that already, but this is the first page. And then this is kind of a scrapbooky art journal spread. We had two little kitties way back in the day, and they were like our kids. They are unfortunately no longer with us. These are magazine cutouts and things like that collaged on here. Again, a mixed media page. Mixed media acrylic, I should say. Figured I'd get you some close-ups of some of these pages. Hopefully the camera is catching everything. Lots of texture and things like that on this page, along with some collage. These birds are collaged in. There is actually some scrapbook paper over here that's collaged in, and some stamping going on. Definitely acrylic mixed media. Then these pages are some of my all-time favorite pages that I've done. These are using magazine, and then these are actually, I drew these faces and then cut them out of another journal and taped those on. And then of course I have these sayings on here. And then most of this I've also gone over with, drawn in different designs with pens and things like that. I was just trying to find a date on these pages, but this is back from 2014. So, like I said, quite of an old journal here. This must have been Easter time. Ah, yes. April of 2014. And again, kind of a little bit more cartoony-ish, maybe illustration-ish. I'm not sure what the right word is than my style today. This again is one of my favorite pages. Again, magazine, cut out of magazines. This was painted in the city kind of scape back here was painted in, and just over this very mixed media stenciled background. And this particular spread I actually have made business cards out of because I just kind of love the saying. Hopefully the glare isn't too bad on here. Some of these faces were, I believe, some collage sheets from Tisha Moore. If I remember, I'll try to link it below. But some of these faces I know were from some of her collage sheets, more the black and white faces. It's been such a long time now since I've done any of these pages. I'm not exactly sure what each element on here came from. I know a lot of it was magazine spreads. Oh, skipped a page. And I think this collage element here was also a Tisha Moore going over this face. I believe, anyways. I'll link her below regardless because I did get a lot of inspiration from her back in the day. And you'll see as this kind of goes along, it gets less and less done, if you will, kind of in quotes, that word. There are a lot less finished pages. And this is from 2015, so we're now moving forward to 2015. For some reason, some of these I've dated and some of them I have not. Okay, these two pages are definitely not done at all. Some point in time, maybe I'll come in and finish them up, but they're definitely not finished. Same thing with these, definitely not finished. I've got a saying that I want to put on this page. And maybe I'll get back into these. I don't know. I've kind of, totally switched gears to Encaustic and stepped away from mixed media. But I probably should really come back in and maybe just finish these pages up. And then we are definitely on to a bunch of background pages, and these when I used to paint with acrylic paint, I would take this sketchbook and just dump all my extra paint onto it. So that's what these pages are, just extra paint scraped onto it. But I can't use any of them with Encaustic because it's all acrylic paint. So I don't know, maybe I'll glue some Encaustic pieces into it, or maybe I'll come back in with some mixed media magazines, things like that, and finish them up. This one here is highly textured, and it was just I was messing around coming up with ideas for an acrylic painting. And then we're back to just random backgrounds of paint being scraped onto. Nothing too exciting here, I wouldn't think. But it's a good way to use up your leftover paint from your pages. This is kind of sort of done, not really done at all. But, you know, there's a tent on here. This page, again, not really done, but I did paint some flowers down here, but you can see this background is really plain up top, so I could possibly go back in and do something there. Okay, and now you're up to date. Here is the encaustic collages that I've done on here. And again, I don't know if these are completely finished or not, but, and there you have it. There's the collage sketchbook flip through. So hopefully that answered those questions. If you guys have any questions at all, always definitely leave me a comment down below. I'm always very happy to answer any questions that I can. And yeah, I'm always also happy to go into greater detail in those questions in other videos or upcoming videos. So I'll answer them down below, but then also I'll maybe more thoroughly answer it in an upcoming video. Before I let you go on this video, I thought I would take a second to thank all of you and also wish all of you a very Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoy the day, whether you celebrate Christmas or another holiday. I hope you take time to just enjoy the day. I hope you get it to spend doing something you love, or you're spending it with loved ones. Doesn't quite feel like Christmas around here. That's just because we really don't have any decorations up. There's actually no snow on the ground. We're used to Ohio winters and lots of snow. It is chilly, but no snow. Not that we're complaining, but it doesn't quite feel like Christmas around here, and it's a little unusual. But I did want to make sure I took the time to say thank you for following along on this crazy adventure. And I really do hope you enjoy your Christmas. Merry Christmas all. Bye for now.